We're going to look at a few questions here and try and decide two things. Is it a function? Why or why not? And then ask ourselves for each of these functions, what's its domain and range? We'll start with this first one here. This particular arrow diagram of a function is not a function. So I'll answer no, because in this case, the 28 and the 45 are okay because the 28 goes to 5, the 45 goes to 5. I think I said 48, but I meant 45. They each go to one value. The rule for a function is each x can only have one y. Look, this 28 only has one answer, 5. 45 only has one answer, 5. But 21 has two possibilities, 0 or 3. And that means it's not a function. So we write no because 21 has two possible y values, or two outputs. And that's a full answer for full marks. This is not a function because at least one of the values, in this case 21, has two possible outputs. We also want to talk about the domain and range. In this case, we just list the numbers in numeric order. The possible inputs, or x's, are 21, 28, and 45. And the possible outputs, or y's, are 0, 3, and 5. Done that one. B. We have a table here. And once again, it might start to look like a function. At first glance, it might seem normal, but take a look at -2. There are two -2's in the chart, and that's no good. -2 could be -1, or -2 could be 8. And so this is not a function because, maybe we'll write it a different way than we did last time. But same idea. No, it's not a function because x equals -2 has two possible y's. And we could say what they are, -1 and 8. Not a function. Let's talk about its domain and range. And let's list the numbers in numeric order. So start with the -2. For the x's, we have a possible -2, a possible 1, and a possible 4. And for the y's, could be a -1, could be a 5, could be a 7, could be an 8. Let's look at this last function here on a graph. We did an arrow diagram, we did a table. Now let's look at a graph. This graph is definitely not a function. I know that because if I were to draw a vertical line in a number of places, it would hit the graph, for example, in two spots, like right here. I get two y's for this x. This test is called the vertical line test. And so I can simply write, no, this is not a function. And how come? Because it fails vertical line test, or VLT. Not a function because it fails vertical line test. I drew a vertical line, it passed through two spots. If I get that even once anywhere in the function, it's no longer a function, not considered a function. Let's talk about its domain and range. I just labeled the endpoints of this graph so I could see its domain and range. When we look at the x's, the domain is, the set of x is such that x is between -6 and 6. Oh, forgot my less than or equal to sign. X is between -6 and 6. And x is an element of any real number. When I look at my range, the set of y is such that y can go as low as -4 and y can go as high as +4. Otherwise, in that area, y is an element of any real number.